Well, another episode in June, though I have a feeling we're going to be passing into July. What is this? Sorghum. This must be, is this mine? No. Where the heck? Oh, yes. This is it. The final load of logs. And yes, people were talking about, yeah, I am going to grind these stumps out. Yes, that is happening. All these stumps have to come out, and I have to clean this area up. I'll figure out what to do with it after that. I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do with this land. Somebody was like, you could put greenhouses, so it's not a bad idea. We got free water on the property, so we could do that, though these are a little far away. I'll think about it. There's definitely land here to do stuff with. I'm a little short on cash now, but we could invest next year once the harvest comes in. Let's go ahead and finish up these logs, and I'm going to have a little story to tell you. This has been a day. For those of you that know me well and have been around for a long time, you know that while World of Tanks can occasionally make me swear, it's pretty rare for me to get upset, especially at somebody. Usually more I'm upset at a game or whatever, but I rarely blow my top where I'm actually screaming at somebody. My dogs once in a while get it because they do things that make me nuts, and I'll scream and yell. Though they've gotten a lot better, and it's funny today. My wife and I locked up our two oldest dogs, and guess what? The puppies didn't do anything bad while we were gone. Only they just were on the couch being good little puppies. It was the two oldest dogs that I have that are being naughty. What does that tell you? Anyway, where am I going with this? I've finally met my match. Somebody who has made me truly upset. Those of you guys that have been around the channel for the last couple years know that I bought a GMC Yukon from my mother's neighbor. I'm going to try to get the story out as quickly as possible, but it's kind of a convoluted story, so here we go. My mom passed away 2.5 years ago. She left me her truck, which was a Honda Pilot. I don't like the Honda Pilot, never have. Gets bad mileage. Not that the Yukon gets any better, but it's too big to be practical and yet too small to be useful. Like you can't really trailer with it. It's too small to, my wife wanted to do horsey trailers. We looked it up. They said pretty much the only SUV that you can do horsey trailers with is the old original body style SUVs, Chevy Suburban and Denali. So I was talking to my mom's neighbor as I was redoing her house, getting it ready for sale, and he says to me, I have a friend who is selling a Denali, and I want to buy your Pilot because I need it. So I sold him my Pilot, and he was happy with it, and fixed it up and made it his, and I gave him $7,000 for this, and this is before the auto industry, like right before the auto industry went nuts with used car prices. I gave him $7,000. The truck was $4,500 from the original owner, Dan, his friend Dan. I also know Dan because he does alarm system installs, and he's pretty well known in my community where I grew up. So it was Dan's truck, and he's like, Dan will sell it to me for $4,500. If you give me an extra $2,500, I'll get it all fixed up and like ready to roll condition. Sounds like a great deal. Okay, Phil, you got the go ahead. Here's $7,000 and get that truck ready, and I'll take it. So fast forward 6 months. Phil is still dragging his feet. Truck hasn't come out of the garage yet. He's just starting to get ready to take it into the mechanics to get it worked on, supposedly. And he's just taking forever. And I'm like, Phil, dude, like seriously, like I need this truck. Like our baby's about to be born. We need the truck. Oh, yeah. I'll get that to you. I promise, blah, blah, blah. And never happens. So, a year goes by. Now Eliza is, on the way. It's August, and I've been pestering, the guy. I don't know if I have the text messages of all the times that I texted him and was like, what's going on with the truck? And oh yeah, we're working on it. It needs this, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this to it, blah, blah, blah. So the final thing was, hey, I'm done with it now. It's all done at the mechanics. I know Eliza's coming. We'll get it to you as soon as possible. Like, it's just going to be like a couple more weeks. I'm going to get it. It needs 2 new quarter panels on the back because they're rusting. That was part of the deal. He said he would fix remediate the rust. So he's like, I'm going to go take it to the shop and get it painted. This was in September of last year, or August. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. So the truck goes supposedly to the painters, and the painter supposedly, this is all allegedly, has a heart attack and can't finish the job. So the son comes up from Florida. This is according to Phil. Doesn't tell me any of this is happening, just tells me after the fact, okay? Says, oh, well, his son came up and he unfortunately, he wants, he's not, since the dad's not going to continue doing the business, the son says, I have to pay him. He's not going to let me swap parts like we were going to do before. I now have to pay him to get the truck, so he's going to hold the truck until I can pay him. But the good news is, I should be getting my tax return. I know I'm getting it late, but it had a hold on it because of some, he owed taxes for something else. He's like, so I'll be getting it soon. Some BS excuse of why he was going to get his taxes in at the end of summer. I'm like, okay, I guess, we'll see how that works out. And so, sure enough, weeks go by, no tax return. More weeks go by, no tax return. Phil, I need the truck. Like, we had the baby. I need the truck. If you can't give me the truck, just give me my mom's truck back. Like, I'll call it a loss. I'll lose out on the $2,000. I need a truck. Like, I gave you that money because I need a truck. So he can't do anything about it. Truck's in hawk. We're waiting. This year hits. I've now spent several months saving up some money, and I also got a little bit of money from the lawsuit that I won. And so I take some of that, and I take the money that I've saved, and I put it in an envelope, and I call Phil and say, hey, Phil, guess what? I said, how much does that guy want for the truck, like, to finish the job so that you can get the truck out of hawk, because I need that truck. And he's like, $2,800. Gave me an amount of $2,800. Guy needs $2,800. Okay, well, I'll give it to him. Tell me where to send the money. Well, he lives in Florida, and he had told me that before, so it fit the story. He's like, and he's out of town. Let me see what to do. So he comes back and says, okay, the guy is going to be in town next week. Go ahead and get the money out, and I'll give it to him. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I guess, but I'd like to go with you. Let's just get this all done at once. And so, of course, Phil, makes it. He keeps changing the situation over the last couple weeks to where the guy can't meet, and then the guy had to go back to Florida, and now it's the landlord that's going to meet us, and he's going to let us have the truck. But anyway, Phil's like, I'll get the title today. I'll get it down to you, which he did. He got me the title, and he's like, and I'll get it. We'll sign it and get the temporary tag so I can get the truck to you. I'm like, perfect, okay. And I said, when are you going to deliver the truck? This is last Thursday. He's like, I'm going to deliver it to you on Friday. Okay, so Friday morning comes and goes, nothing from Phil. And so, oh, by the way, yeah, that's right. So I paid the guy $2,800 to get this truck out of hawk, right? So don't forget that part. So now I've given him $9,800, $9,800. So now he says to me, actually, there was a problem with the battery, and we're going to work on the truck tonight, and it should be done tomorrow morning. I'll have it to you tomorrow. And I said, well, I'm at a wedding tomorrow, so, that's fine. Just drop it off in my driveway, and you can leave the keys in the flower pot or the mailbox. No one will take it. Okay, no problem. So Saturday comes, I come home, no truck in the driveway. I call Phil. Phil, where's the truck? A brake line broke, and we're working on. Okay, dude, like, you have got to be kidding me. First of all, didn't I pay you to fix all that stuff? Like, the whole point was you were going to get rid of all the rusty stuff and replace it. Now you're telling me there's a bad brake line? I thought all that stuff was done when I gave you the $2,500. That was supposed to be done. And it is one of the services. I went back through the checks. It's one of the services that he told me he did before. So now things are looking really fishy. And I said, Phil, I said, what's going on? And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll have it to you on Monday or Tuesday. It depends on when the shop can fit it in. I'm like, okay, when the shop can fit it in. And he's like, Dan will call the shop. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll call Dan and just work with him directly because I want to, I'd like to talk to him and see, find out what's happening right now. Says, you don't know. It's cool. I'll take care of it. You can do your work and I'll talk to Dan. And he never responded to that. That was this morning. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. Like, so I went online and I looked up Dan because I know this guy and I know his business. And so sure enough, there's his information out there. But I give him a call. And I'll tell you what, guys, before I called him, I took a deep breath. Because I'm like, you know what I think? In my gut, I feel like I'm about to find out something that I didn't want to find out. And sure enough, I called Dan and he's like, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, listen, I got the title. Everything's good there. What's going on with this truck? I didn't let him know that there was a problem. And he's like, well, we finally got it moved a little bit. And we've replaced the battery. So it's starting now. But there was an issue with one of the brake lines. So before we get it out of the garage, we're going to have to, get the brake line repaired. And Phil's working on that. And we'll get it to you soon. And I says to him, what garage are you talking about? And he's like, well, the one in Rocky River, the one where I've kept it. I'm like, what? You mean the garage where you originally had it, like when I first saw it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so that truck has never left that garage? And he's like, no, it's been there the whole time. It's just been sitting here waiting for, the money to come in so that you could get it, so you could buy it and get it fixed. And I'm like, Dan, do you realize that I paid Phil I paid him $7,000 2 years ago? He's like, what? And I said, look, I don't want to get you in the middle of this. I know you're friends with Phil and but this is bad. I said, dude, this is really bad. And so I hung up with Dan and I texted Phil and I said, dude, like, I'll read you the text in a second. I got to find my phone. Hang on. Let me get this log on there straight. But it wasn't a mean text because once again, I try not to be a mean guy. Like I don't want to beat this guy up. I've been in financial hard places before. You guys know. I mean, and this guy's just kind of going through the same things. But to me, there's a big difference when you're going through something hard and are in a bad mood or whatever, and things aren't going well and you're struggling. But it's something different when you're going through something rough and you take advantage of the people around you. And that's exactly what he did to me. He took advantage of me being nice to him and being gracious and allowing him time, and instead he just ripped me off. So here, this guy didn't do any work on the truck. The truck was never in Hawk, so he took an additional $3,000 from me for nothing. For absolutely nothing. So I got ticked. And I went out and hang on, the dogs are barking. I sent him a text and I said, Phil, I called Dan. I am now fully aware of the situation of what's been going on for the last 2 years. I am hugely hurt and I'm hugely disappointed in how you handled the situation. I think it's absolutely bogus that you lied to me, that you hid the truth from me, that you used me to get more money, that you swindled me, basically. And so here's what I want. And there's no negotiations at this point. I want that truck in 100% running condition, safe running condition, on my driveway by next Monday. And I want in that truck, when you deliver it, there will be an envelope with the $2,800 that I gave you last week in cash. No checks. I want cash because that's what I gave you. You will return the cash. I said, I once again, I am appalled that you would treat me this way, and I'm done. Give me my money back and give me the truck. And so we'll see what happens. You know, at this point, I talked to my lawyer. He's ready to, you know, he loves lawsuits. That's his, he doesn't do it full time anymore. He's like a forensics expert also. So he does that, but he's like, I like a good lawsuit now and then. It's fun to to win a little bit of money. And so he's all ready to go. And we won the last lawsuit. He's like, oh no, we'll get this guy. This is complete fraud is what that's called. He's like, we'll get this guy and he'll owe triple damages. In the state of Ohio, you cannot fraudulently take money from somebody and lie about something to get money. It's against the law, and you get triple damages for that. So he'll end up. And once again, I don't care. I don't want $30,000 from Phil. I just want my money. To be honest with you, I don't even want the truck. I just want my money back because the truck at this point, I'm going to have to. It's probably in bad shape. As far as I know, the thing's a hunk of junk. He's been lying this whole time. So I don't know if he was hiding it and not doing it because he wanted it. Anyway, the best part is after all that, Phil tried to call me and I didn't answer. And I texted him back and said, dude, don't even try to call me today. Like, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, I will talk to you tomorrow or later this week, but I don't have anything to say good to you right now. So hopefully he gets it. I hope that he chooses to do the right thing. If not, like I said, I do have some repercussions that I can, you know, dole out there. I don't like suing people. I really don't like going to court and having to go through all that stuff. But if the guy makes me do it, I'll do it. He can't just walk off with $10,000. Can you believe it? But to me, it's the whole, you know, I hope that you guys that watch my channel are hearing what I'm saying and have a conscience. Dude, don't ever do stuff like that. You don't rip your neighbor off. You don't take people's money knowing that you're not going to do what they said that you're, like telling them that you're going to do one thing. Oh, and to make things worse, he never paid the guy off for the truck. He only gave him half the money. He was supposed to give Dan $4,500 and he gave him $2,000. So he still owes him money for the truck. Now, I talked to the guy and I'm like, well, look, I got the title and stuff. Like, how are we going to handle that? And he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, I'm friends with him and I'll eat it. But he's like, I'm sad that that's how it turned out. But I said, all right, dude, you know, like, please do your part to get this done. So what a sad situation, you know, and what a disgusting, you know, I guess that's where we are as a society. But once again, this guy was my mom's friend and he used to do her driveway and stuff. Like, what the hell? Seriously, like, what's the matter with people these days? So anyway, that is my like serious ticked off moment for the episode. I thought I'd share that with you guys, but man, just a kick in the balls. And honestly, it really, I don't want to say it depressed me, but it made me super sad. Like after it was all done, I just kind of sat there and was like, wow, like why would you do that? Like, why would you take advantage of me like that? Like I was so kind and patient with you, and that's what you've been doing this whole time, is like taking advantage of me and like laughing to the bank. Telling me you need money to get the truck out of Hawk and then just taking money from me because you need money. Seriously. Like, well, who does that? What kind of person does that? Disgusting. So anyway, I love you guys. Don't mean to bring you down. What a story, and what a, like Micah said, he's like, Arthur, he's like, you shouldn't play video games anymore. You should just film your life, because it's just, there's so many weird things that happen to you. Like great. Yeah, why? Why do these horrible things happen to me? I didn't do anything. All right, we are officially done with the front loader. Let's go ahead and end that lease. Golly, we've had that thing for months. They really didn't cost that much, about $1,000 a day. Not too bad. So let's go ahead to the wheel loader and return that bad boy. Thank you so much, wheel loader, for all the... these are all things I can't use with... Okay, so... Okay, now we're going to go ahead and deliver these last few logs. Now, in the last episode, we did end up buying that extra field, which I think is KO. That was a good deal. So, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, but not to the left. To the left. We don't own this field yet, but we will someday. So I think our next goal, we've reached a lot of goals. We've bought the field. We've cut down the lumber. We are producing milk for a year. We've got a whole slurry set up that doesn't really work well. We've got, and I'll have to do myself. When this field is harvested, I'll have to rent the what do you call it? Like the field analyzer, and get that taken care of. But we got all that going on. We bought a new field. We got a new barn. And everybody's healthy and fed, and we have, like a lot of food sitting around for the cows still. And so it's a happy day. Things have gone really well on the farm, and I am ready to go ahead and I think we're ready to move on to next month. But I think the next big stretch goal for the farm is after the next harvest, I would like to purchase a sprayer. We will sell the weeder because I didn't realize that they just work differently. And it might also be because we're using precision farming, that the weeds work even more differently. But it's not, for the money that I paid for that thing, it's not really doing what I want it to do. So I also would like to, on the list of things, is to upgrade the seeder. But we'll have to see if we have enough money for that. I want a little bit larger seeder that doesn't fertilize, and we'll use the sprayer to spray fertilizer down after the fact. So we'll spray for herbicide, we'll use the sprayer for fertilizer, and then we'll also put slurry down first. So slurry, plant, sprayer, herbicide, and that's how we're going to roll it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sell these. I'll be right back. I'll take you when we sell it. I'll come back. All right. So in other news, Simone's Horsey Farm, they're $15,000. Yay! Simone's Horsey Farm is going well. I wanted to climb up here and see if there's any hidden stuff. She is, I don't want to say turning a profit yet, but she's making a little bit of money. But she will soon be turning a profit once they fill in the last couple stalls. And they're painting and making the facility look really nice, and it looks really cute. I will give you a link to the video and the page that has the photos and stuff when we're done, so you can see the business that she's doing. But it looks like we're going to be able to possibly rent out the house next door. Has an in-law suite underneath it, which is right across from the barn. And the guys offered it to us. It's getting vacated here in the next couple of weeks. And he's offered it to us for $200 a month, which is a phenomenal deal. Now, my wife will just roll that into what she owes for the barn. But that would be an office for her that's air conditioned. And we're going to use it, and this is crazy, but we're going to use it as a little weekend getaway. So when I come home from work on Friday nights, we'll pack up and head down to the barn. And we'll just spend the weekends there because it's so nice. It's real quiet. It's out in the fields, it's out in the country. And it's like a little, I don't want to slice of heaven, and there's a real nice, like just down the road is a Mennonite church with a giant parking lot and huge wheat fields behind it. Perfect spot to fly my airplanes. So we're gonna go down there and make it like a little hangout on the weekends, and just have like a little home away from home. And $200 a month. I'm like, okay, you can't beat that. That's like, because we were talking about maybe getting a camper or something like that to do stuff with the family, and I'm like, why don't we just do that? Then the kids can be around the horses, and we can hang out down there and have a fun time. And we also have the pool at my house, so it's like once we get that fixed and running again, that's a whole other story. My God, nothing in my life aside from my wife and my guitars and my computers, nothing in my life ever seems to work right. The hot tub has been great. We bought that hot tub a couple years ago, and I used some of my inheritance money to buy it. And that has been, I know you guys will get on me, it does use a little bit of electric. It adds about $20 a month on the electric bill. But we use that hot tub all the time. My wife and I, after work, she puts the baby to bed, and we'll go out there at 10 o'clock at night, and we just sit in there and snuggle and talk about the day. It has been so good for us as a married couple, even to have that like little getaway there. So that's the one thing that I bought that worked. The truck hasn't worked out. The pool fell apart. My life. Little things by little things. Each one gets fixed. That's the best part of life, though, is when the things get fixed. We're going to return this. When you have that feeling of, that's finally taken care of. So frustrating. Anyway, let's see here. I'm going to scooch around this build. I think we can fit here without killing much more crop. There's a little bit of dead crop there, but come on. Oh! We didn't see that. No one saw that, right? These street wheels might not damage the crops. I don't know. In real life they would, but in game life they may not. So this truck, it needs work. We have done a lot of work in this truck. We're going to fix her up. And I think that's it. I'm going to check the horses, and we're going to fuel this back up again. How much is in this tank? Oh, we need to buy some more diesel. $5,000 liters of gas, diesel, what have ya? And let's go ahead and do some work on the truck. $76,000. Already $6,000 down because of the gulls, the fuel. And work on this. $900 a repair. What a great truck. Paint's starting to chip a little bit, but that's all right. It's the perfect farm truck. I don't know what's next, but I think harvesting probably will be the next thing that we have to do. I remember I bought a flatbed. That's pretty cool. What I got going on here? Eggs are good. Horses have been ridden for the day. I just need to double check. I want to make sure. Wait. Whoa. That's a lot of information. Whoa. Okay. Tell me this way. Riding 100%. They've been ridden. Okay. That's what I needed to see. Okay, so I guess it's time to move on. So let's go on to the next day. And ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this episode as we finished up June. And we're going to move into July in the next episode and get to the in-game happy 4th of July. But hopefully you guys had a happy 4th. I will see you in the next exciting episode, the next exciting month of Farming Simulator here on Spruce Mountain.